Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days. So we are getting ever closer to Wrestlemania 33. And I was looking at those matches and couldn't believe how many legends and established long-serving superstars are actually involved in them. I mean, WWE is not doing the greatest of jobs of building new stars. They're really relying on these legends. But how did those legends get started? What were their debut matches? When were their debut matches? So I've gone back, I've had a look, I've got the information. I've just gone with the 3 key matches at this year's WrestleMania. And sadly, for me, that doesn't include AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon. We can talk about AJ Styles though. So Styles obviously made his WWE debut at the Royal Rumble in 2016 in that fantastic moment when the screen came up, "I am phenomenal," and that wonderful music hit and out he came with his hood down, and what a moment. But you have to go back, all the way back to 1998 for his very first match. And he was actually a masked wrestler at the time called Mr. Olympia. And his first match was against a gentleman called Michael Brooks. But the 3 matches that I've chosen to focus on for this video are the 2 title matches and the Undertaker match. So Undertaker versus Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg for the Universal Championship, and Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt for the WWE Championship. So Randy Orton, not including FCW and all of that kind of stuff, his first proper main roster match was actually at WrestleMania 18's Fan Access. He has a match against Tommy Dreamer. His first televised match though comes a little after that. At SmackDown at the end of April in 2002, he has his first televised match on the main roster, and that is a victory over Hardcore Holly. So not including the Husky Harris Nexus character, the Bray Wyatt character actually debuted in April 2012. And I can tell you that his first match was a singles match against one of the Vaudevillains. It was actually Aiden English is the first opponent of Bray Wyatt. You know, the Wyatt family explode onto the main roster in 2013 and go straight into a feud with Kane. That leads to the Bray Wyatt versus Kane Ring of Fire match at SummerSlam. And that's the same SummerSlam where Randy Orton actually cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase and won the WWE Championship from Daniel Bryan. So Goldberg made his debut in WCW on an episode of Nitro in September of 1997. This is the match that kick-started his undefeated streak, and his first opponent was Hugh Morris, probably better known as Bill DeMott, who was actually the head trainer for a long time at NXT. Obviously no longer doing that role, but what a first opponent to have. Goldberg's WWE debut though was on a March 2003 episode of Raw when he came out and delivered a spear to The Rock. Unbelievably, Brock Lesnar made his main roster debut during an episode of Raw in 2002 when he actually came out and interfered in a match that contained Maven, Spike Dudley and Al Snow. His first proper main roster televised match was at Backlash when he went head to head and defeated Jeff Hardy. And that brings us to Roman Reigns against The Undertaker. So Roman Reigns made his debut in FCW in 2010, and his very first opponent was the son of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. It was Richie Steamboat. Richie Steamboat was on track to be one of the biggest stars that the company had in a long time. Really was, you know, doing some great stuff down in FCW. Sadly, injury meant that Richie Steamboat didn't go any further, but obviously Roman Reigns did, and he made his main roster debut as part of the Shield at the Survivor Series in 2012 when they interfered in a match between CM Punk and Ryback, costing Ryback his opportunity to win the WWE Championship. Roman's first feud following the split of the Shield was actually against Randy Orton, but just before that, Roman had won a Battle Royal to be included in a Money in the Bank match. That Money in the Bank match was obviously won by Seth frickin' Rollins, with a lot of help from Kane. And talking of Kane, I think the most interesting debut is that of The Undertaker. Now, The Undertaker made his debut in WCW, but not as The Undertaker, as Mean Mark Callis. And he was inserted into the tag team, the Skyscrapers. He obviously moved over to WWF not long after that. And in November of 1990, he made his debut at the Survivor Series as the mystery partner of Ted DiBiase's $1 million Survivor Series team. The Undertaker would go on to eliminate Hall of Famer Koko Beware and also Mega Hall of Famer Dusty Rhodes in his first match. But it wasn't his first match. That match is widely regarded as The Undertaker's proper debut, but actually he had recorded an episode of Superstars of Wrestling that was pre-taped and had yet to be shown. So technically, The Undertaker's very first opponent in WWF is Mario Mancini. And Mario Mancini is also the very first debut opponent for King Kong Bundy. Awesome, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already, because we're going to be exploring loads more about WrestleMania 33. So there's plenty of videos still to come. And hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.